The story of early 90s Wellington group The Love Factory Band runs like the story of many other bands before and after them. Fun, fame, not a lot of fortune, and then the inevitable self-implosion and breakup. Colin Swedge, his sister Nolene and friend Sharon Duffy from the heart of Stokes Valley joined forces with dispossessed art student Bryce Price, unaccomplished sportsman Darren Storm, and disaffected hairdresser and butcher trainee Nigel, and formed the Love Factory Band in late 1989 to play at an underground club called the Love Factory.
We're all pretty nervous, pretty keyed up. Frankie Stevens sang a song and that really just broke the ice. We all felt, you know, blessed.
When we started out, it was unknown territory, really. People thought that we were just an overnight thing. I mean, I think that's what people think today of bands like the Spice Girls. But I think we showed that we were serious about our art and about our music. And I think we tapped into something that the kids were feeling too.
Their motto was, as long as there's lots of Fanta and no one minded Roman sandals and socks, then everything was fantastic. In fact, as far as they were concerned, the more people in the band, the more fantastic. During their short history until their breakup in 1993, their lineup included some now famous New Zealanders.
It was some of the greatest days of my life, hanging out with Nigel and the one and only Darren Storm, Sharon, who I always had a bit of a crush on actually. I don't mind confessing that now, all these years later.
In those days I was just starting out DJing, and when they came along, I think my DJing just accelerated so much because what they were doing was rubbing off on everybody. They're just ripping off some of the best grooves. They're actually really good musicians, but after a while they just didn't give a shit because they just go into the studio and rip off grooves. They knew they can play them anyway. So the end result was great and just has had a lot to do with where I'm at now, I think.
Fanta is a fizzy drink. 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 Fanta is a fizzy drink.
They began to pop up in the oddest of places. The odd shop appearance, it was only a matter of time before they ended up on TV.
The Love Factory Band, and whereabouts can people catch you if they want to see you?
Well, we play at various bars around Wellington, but I'm not sure when we're next playing because we haven't had a phone call yet.
Give them a call if you'd like to have them. You keep on winning.
I think that was the demise of Sale of the Century. Steve Parr was just like absolutely flipped out because I remember him saying to me after we'd finished filming with the Love Factory Band, performing on all these amazing sort of instruments that we're giving away for prizes, saying, You've taken this just too far this time. Who are these people? I mean, look at them. And he didn't get his sliding steps right. He was just, and it was, really absolutely bad hair day for Steve.
Capital is about to become the rock and roll centre of the universe. Deep in a Wellington nightclub, the Love Factory Band are doing for rock and roll what Jim Morrison did for obesity, giving it sex. You don't believe me? Watch this.
1:32 a.m. Saturday night. Out front, the kids are pumping. Backstage, the world's sexiest new band is getting ready to rock and roll.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Hey!
Hey, don't drink all the soda.
I guess after that story, I became sort of seen as the Woodward and Bernstein of music reportage. Yeah, that was a break for me. I owe them a lot, really, the Love Factory Band. I owe them a lot.
As with most groundbreaking groups, they weren't always appreciated by one and all.
They came on before us. Our manager at the time, Gerald, had supplied them with about 24 Fanta, I think it was that they asked for on their rider, and they proceeded to take out these cans of Fanta onto the stage. The audience was very bogan that night, so when the Love Factory Band came out, looking like classic American high school nerds, and carrying all this Fanta, they didn't go down too well, and the Love Factory band proceeded to hand out all this Fanta to the redneck bogan audience, and the bogan audience proceeded to throw all the Fanta back at the Love Factory band. I remember being really pissed off at the time because my drums were set up on the stage and all the bogans were throwing all this Fanta at the stage, throwing all this sticky orange fizzy drink all over my drums and stuff.
The breakup was inevitable. Though they had so much in common, they couldn't sustain the fizz and bubble that had once made them want to let their flares ride the wind. After the breakup, Colin, Darren, Nigel and Bryce joined forces with two other local musicians to form the successful but short-lived Sporting Poets. But the Poets never quite gained the widespread success of the LFB.
Yes. Well, for me, Nigel, leaving the Love Factory band was very sad, but it was also an opportunity because it allowed me to explore the other two cutting passions in my life apart from cutting records as a DJ. So what did I do? I thought I can blend my hair cutting skills with the skills of cutting meat. And so I opened New Zealand's first butchery hair salon. At the time of starting Nigel's Cuts, Butchery and Hair, a lot of people said to me, this is a very stupid idea. They could not see how the two could be combined. But I think my success in the suburbs of Stokes Valley has proven to everyone that you can blend different disciplines for success.
Show business, I mean, it was a big part of my life.
I would like to liken the demise or the life span of the Love Factory band to a bottle of Fanta. When we started in 1990, we were like a bottle of Fanta. Very fresh and fizzy. But as we went on, it was like the bottle of Fanta had been left open and things got flattened. So come 1993, I think by that stage, I know that at that stage Bryce was getting very, very, very heavily more addicted to Fanta.
Bryce's Fanta problem got quite severe, and I felt really, as an artist, it was getting more and more difficult to work together.
Oh, Bryce is sad. Bryce is a sad case. He came round the other day asking for money or at least a free haircut and a pound of sausages. I hope he can work through his problem. I myself have always advocated moderate consumption of Fanta.
I channel a lot of my energy that I formerly put into the Love Factory band, I've channeled into my art, my conceptual art. Using Fanta as a vehicle to despiritualise what I see as the fizzy ephemera of everyday excuse me. Excuse me. Now what I'm trying to do is deconceptualise what I see as the photosynthesis between religion and the aspects of civilization that are held tantamount to our modern psyche. And I feel I'm using fizzy drink as a metaphor for what I think we all feel is, in this point of time, not to put too much stress on it. What was I saying? This, I feel, represents my my struggle against the forces of religion, and as you can see, it's got representations of the cross. I call it stations of the fizz. And as you can see, as I tilt it this way and this way, the crosses remain at the top and the fizzes rise Jesus-like to the top there. It's kind of an awakening. And then as I switch it back the other way, it's a rebirth. So it's a constant cycle of Fanta.
The tricky thing with Fanta is to get the dose just right. Large-scale epidemiological studies have shown that the optimal dose is around 3 bottles a day for men, 2 for women. Inadequate Fanta intake is certainly harmful. In fact, Fanta teetotalers do not do it all well in large-scale studies. Similarly, over 6 bottles a day can be very, very damaging to your health. So we have to get the optimal balance correct. The other issue I've seen in my practice is a problem of Fanta withdrawal, which can be very, very unpleasant for the Fanta addict. Fanta can be dangerous in the wrong hands.
They put some aspirin in my coke, cause they thought it was a joke. But made me really spaz, start hitting my friend Gaz. They put some Fanta in my brain, cause they thought I was insane. I could be cool, but I'm a nerd.
It appears the Love Factory band story is not quite over.
I was in China recently doing a story for 60 Minutes on New Zealand DJs, and I was just at this club, which is run by New Zealanders, and I just sort of like heard all of a sudden this tune, and I thought, shit, that's Meatpack. Anyway, I start talking to some of the guys, and they sort of say, well, you know, where did you get this tape from? And they said, well, you know, the Love Factory band, you know, sort of like are huge over here. They're absolutely famous. And the bizarre thing is, I mean, these guys, you know, these Kiwi blokes are gods over there.
Why doesn't that surprise me? I always felt an affinity with the Chinese race. I felt that we're communicating on another level. I've made up a rhyme, especially for our Chinese fans. The Chinese are neat, the pick of the pack. Step right up and listen to the Love Factory band, Chinese people.
I've always felt an affinity with the Chinese people. They're, I don't know why.
Mass hysteria when a Chinese record shop in Beijing ran out of Love Factory records. And I thought, that could have been me. That could have been me.
A reunion of the band, I think, would be difficult at best. We don't want to end up like the Eagles or any of those bands. I think I can see why some of the other band members would want to do that, because they have not had the degree of success which I have experienced.
If I get the call again to play with them, it'll be just as exciting as it was 6 years ago when they first asked me to play. And my only worry is that will China understand, and will I fit in any of the public transport? Or, yeah, I'm a pretty big guy, so.
I often think now, you know, what would happen if Bryce or Darren or Sharon or Nigel called up and said, hey, come back, you know. And the honest answer is that I would be like that. I'd be in there so fast, yeah. I'd love to. I don't know if I've still got what it takes. But, you know, I've got the Roman sandals, I've got the skivvy, I've got the shorts. Guys, I'm ready. I'm ready to come back to the Love Factory band.
The Love Factory band is clearly one of New Zealand's major cultural phenomena over the last century. In terms of its impact in China, you know, only Railway Alley comes close. The fact is that 100, 200, 300 million people have heard of it. What other New Zealand cultural icon has been heard of and affected the lives of so many people?